What's up, guys? My name is Zero Heroes and welcome back to more Gates of Hell news. And today we're going to be looking at a couple things that Gates of Hell has announced in the recent update. And this is actually one of the recent updates that I didn't actually know. I didn't even look at it properly. I've been off my computers for a few days just because I wasn't feeling well, and then I've been concentrating on my other business. By the way, I do have a business called GCP, and I make bath bombs. So if anybody's interested in making bath bombs, and if you don't know what bath bombs are, it's basically a wee kind of it looks like a bomb, and then you put it in a bath and then it fizzes up and then you get like this nice smell out of it. So if you do want to order one, then let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, we are here to talk about the Gates of Hell awards, and we're also here to talk about the roadmap, and then we're also going to go all the way down to talk about the Gates of Hell update 107, which is Black Friday. And today is Tuesday, I think. Yeah, so we're actually very much out of date. But let's get going because we have a lot to cover today. So this is the Gates of Hell awards and sale. So if you guys basically don't know, that every kind of game does this every year, and it's basically a nomination it's a Steam award nomination, and basically Cult Arms have done the Steam award. So coming this December, nominate Cult Arms Gates of Hell Front for the scatter below as suggested by the developers of the game, and this one's the outstanding visual style. So the visual style doesn't aspire to real world graphical fidelity, I think it is, though a noble goal in itself. It describes a distinctive look and feel that suffices an entire game, if that makes sense. I know I probably messed up a couple words. So guys, make sure you go give Gates of Hell the award, because these guys definitely deserve it and they've put a lot of hard work into the game. So make sure you go give them their support, and definitely make sure you go check them out. So it says, as the year draws to an end, we look back on the great experience we've had releasing Cult Arms Gates of Hell. If you agree that our genre is being overlooked and Cult Arms Gates of Hell is a good representative for it, or if you'd like to share our passion and enthusiasm for our projects past, present and future, please consider writing us a review and voting for us on the GOTY awards. The Gates of Hell, no, that isn't the Gates of Hell. I don't know what that is, a GOTY, whatever it is. So take the opportunity to buy the game if you haven't already, as the sale nearly ends. So yeah, as you can see, that Call to Arms Gates of Hell is 43% off, so you can get it for $22.84, and that comes, I believe, as itself. Or if you want to get so that's Call to Arms, the original game, like the more modern game. And also if you want to get Gates of Hell, then you can get it all for £22.84, which is actually really good. So make sure you guys definitely go get it. And if you haven't got Gates of Hell, if you're new to it, check out my videos, and I have everything that you need to know that covers these two games. Or if you want to get the complete edition, which includes the Call to Arms original game, the deluxe edition for Cult Arms, and the season pass, as well as Gates of Hell, then you can get it for £28, which is 53% off, which is actually amazing. So to be honest, if I had to choose between one, I'd recommend getting the complete edition, just because it's not that far off the price comparison, and you're getting literally everything in one with this with the complete edition. So I would highly recommend this edition. But let's say you just want to kind of maybe stick to maybe just the game itself and not any DLCs or anything, then you can go for that one. But I would highly recommend getting the complete edition. And then you've got something called roadmap, a picture here of the completed milestones. So this is also, the roadmap is basically the things that the developers have already done for this year, like as in the updates, and the basic roadmap. The roadmap shows you all the things that Gates of Hell have done for the updates, and you can see what progression we've gone through and kind of what's happened, and then it shows the upcoming milestones. So these are things that are still to come to the game, and hopefully get it. So the things we've done, like completed milestones or the open beta for the game, that's when the game first came out, you know, people were testing it and all that. And then you got the global release of June. So the open beta was back in March of this year. That's again as a game just released. And then you got the global release. So that's when the game actually opened up to everyone, and that was in June. And then you got the content update 1, which was the first major big update for the game, which was in August. And then we had the next big major content update, which was number 2, and that was only in October. So those are all the things that we have covered, or that is already released for the game. And then the upcoming milestones is the community update 1, and that's coming at the end of 2021. So that could, I have no idea what the community update 1 is. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It's obviously got to do with something with the community, so it might be like the community update might be like instead of the developers deciding what to do with the game, it could be what the community actually says to developers, and then the developers bring it into the game from the community itself, not from the developers. And then you've got the one I'm really excited for is for the modding SDK 2. Which will hopefully make modding 10 times easier for this game, and especially for newcomers. You've got your module 2 plus your content update 3, which will probably, these two, the modding SDK and the module 2 and content update 3, will probably be maybe the beginning of next year, or maybe in February. So modding SDK might be the end, possibly the middle or the end of January, and then the content and module 2 and content update 3 might come maybe February, possibly March, and then whatever else is to come. So I'm really excited to see what is to come for the game, and I'm especially the modding SDK. I really want to know what that is, and really if it is going to make a difference to the modding section of this game. So I really hope you guys do enjoy this, because this is something I really want them to do more often, like a roadmap of the things that we've done, of the things we've achieved as a community, as the developers, and then things we're coming up to, which we want as a community really want to see, and what we're going to be looking forward to. So really good idea by the developers to make a roadmap of this, and it's really awesome. So if you guys want to check that out, then make sure you go do it. And then we've got some nice screenshots here of kind of the Germans and the Russians, and it says join our Discord, so make sure you guys go join their Discord. So lots of updates and lots of different things happen on that. And then you've got your autumn sale, last chance, which is all which has happened in the past. And as you can do, you could get Men of War Assault Squad 2, or you can get the original Men of War for $3.99 or $1.43. But to be honest, I would probably get Men of War Assault Squad 2 instead of Men of War, because this game is awesome. I would highly recommend anybody starting out has no idea, probably go to Men of War Assault Squad 2 first and then come to Gates of Hell. But at the same time, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, of course, or you could get your complete set where you get all the Men of War Assault Squad 2. Don't get Cold War. As you can see, it's mostly negative. It's absolutely shit, and nobody wants to play it. Excuse my language. And then this is the main attraction of today's episode, or today's video, is the development update 107 Black Friday. So it says, hello everyone, two dev blogs so close together is quite rare in our case, because that is true. It is not many dev blogs do actually come out that close together, but that's because it's a special occasion, Black Friday, and so we are running a special sale, and it is still 43% off, and I've already discussed about this, so I don't need to discuss it anymore. So yeah, make sure you go get it, because to be honest, all these games are awesome. Okay, let's go on to now the actual main event, which is, besides the sale, we are having a fair number of changes to tell you. So this is a Black Friday update. Along with the sale, as is tradition, we will be releasing a game update. This one focused on balancing and quality of life changes for the entire game in preparation for the next content update for the winter season. Now the next winter content, I believe, which is 3, I believe, as I said, probably won't be coming out till March or possibly February, but I could be wrong, so I don't know. If we get it before 2021, that'd be amazing, but I highly doubt it. It says, in this blog, we'll highlight a couple of things from the update. it would be way too much to detail all the changes. As usual, we'll publish a full change log when that happens, so you can find out every detail then. For now, let's go with the highlights. So let's go, as you can see, like a nice background picture here. So this is a couple of things we need to cover today, which is the vision system, the artillery and tactics, the AI bots, and more, and then that's it. So only 3 things to cover, but there is quite a lot to see here, so I'll try and explain this as quickly as I can, and then we'll go through this. So we have overhauled the system, the vision system, to make it easier to understand. There were many cases where people thought the game was bugged, which was true. I thought it was kind of bugged because some unit could see you, but you could not see it. Yes, that is something that did happen. That happened to a lot of my troops, and it was very annoying, and it just didn't make sense how they could see me and I couldn't see them, which was very annoying, and it just didn't add up. So I'm very glad they're bringing it to their attention now. And this was a result of a complex vision module that took details into account, like the size of the hatch in the vehicle or the stance of the soldier, plus whether they were in cover, and many other factors. Yeah, so basically what they're saying is it depended on whether you're in the vehicle, like the hatches in the vehicle, you know, the wee hatches like at the top of a vehicle. When a commander pokes out or something like that, they can see further ahead. When a commander's standing out at the top, so it's a bigger vision. It could rely on that. It could be the stance of the soldier. So if you're standing up straight, like if you're keeping your soldier standing up, then you have greater view range. Or if he's kind of crouching, then the view range is going to be less. And if you're laying down, then it's going to be very limited. Or whether you're in cover, then yeah, it's going to be hard, and many other factors. So yeah, it was very difficult. While this system is very complex and adds a lot of potential depth to the game, it is hard to understand and leads to frustrating situations in the battlefield, especially for our new players. Yes, I 100% agree with this. It is very frustrating, and it does lead to many people being, being, as it said, very frustrating, and situations are bit, especially for new players. Yeah, the whole point of this game is to try and get new members or new people to this game, to try and make them understand this game better, to try and make them enjoy. There's a whole tutorial in this game which does explain everything, but when it comes to the actual battle, it doesn't go into the advanced details which tell you little things about kind of like vision and kind of things that new players don't quite understand. So it is very difficult to, as it said, it is a very complex situation where it is for new players, and they don't quite understand what it means, and it just very frustrates them, and they just couldn't understand why, which a lot of people do come to the comments say, why is this, what is this, what is happening here. So it is I'm very glad they are kind of taking a new approach to this, especially for their new players. So I'm very happy they've done this. With the overhaul, the laws for spotting are much more intuitive. It can also be more rewarding if you use the right units. Now, I did some. In the developers update ages ago, they did mention about a unit called the scouting unit. Now, I said that this was pretty much useless because you can literally just get a sniper that might have better range for spotting instead of just wasting more points on a scouting, when you can get a sniper which costs less, probably does the same job as a scout, and there's literally no point. But if it's true that the developers have developed in a way that snipers can't spot, then that really just does defeat the purpose of a sniper. The whole point of a sniper is that you scout. You can get a very good range of anything compared to any other units on the battlefield. So I don't know. I feel like there was no point in this, but that was for a video back then. So if you want to check out that video, then please do. But anyway, it can also be more rewarding if you use the right units. With the overhaul, besides reassessing it from scratch, we used the opportunity to improve the spotting of armoured cars and give them more of a role on the battlefield. Now that's quite interesting, because when it comes to armoured vehicles, it is I would say armor cars are very much useless within the middle to start of the battle. At the very start, it is very useful because a lot of people might just use infantry or again armored cars for scouting. So I would say it's very good for the start, but if like a couple minutes after, or even like half an hour after, it's useless because people are now start bringing out like anti-tank infantry, you know, proper tanks, or like an M5 Scout or an M5 or an M3 Lee, which can easily, or I forgot the Americans aren't again in the in-game, like the Panzer 3s and the Panzer 2s, which are kind of like armored vehicles, but I would say they're more, they can definitely deal more damage. So I don't know, you improve the spotting for armored cars to give them more of a role in the battlefield. It does, but only for a very short time. I don't think this is really going to make much of a difference on the battlefields. Besides that, they just could possibly scout for your allies, for your infantry, and just also the only thing it could do is possibly take on other infantry and nothing else. Anti-tank guns, nope. Especially you can even get anti AT personnel, people for, you know, people with RPGs which can still take out the tank. So just armor cars are very much just useless in the game. I feel like I see why they're trying to do it, because they do feel a bit useless, but even still, it just doesn't. I still don't get this vibe where armored vehicles are any use in the battlefield, but I see why they do this. Additionally, we've made it so that the engine noise of vehicles in motion reveals them up to 50 meters beyond the visor's distance of your units. That's quite interesting. So, and then which makes the engine toggle feature in the game much more important to conceal your troops. So when you're on a vehicle, it has like the engine toggle to turn off your engine and to turn on your engine. So now it says that it reveals up to 50 meters beyond the visor distance of your units. Now, I presume that means that your vehicle reveals enemies up to 50 meters beyond the visor distance of your unit. So I presume that means like it'll reveal 50 more meters compared to your other units, which I think, or am I getting that wrong? Which makes the engine toggle feature in the game, yeah. So I made a mistake there. So what that means is that basically, if you're driving, if you have the engine still on, then you're going to get spotted more easily when you have your engine on. But when you have the engine turn off, it makes your vehicle more concealed, and it'll make your vehicle harder to detect. So I presume when you have that engine on, it reveals up to 50 meters beyond the visor distance of your unit. So I presume that just means is that it reveals up to 50 meters more when you have your engine on. I think. I don't know what it means by beyond the visor distance of your units. I'm not very smart when it comes to these things, but I think it's like, I think that's what they're saying, but don't quote me. So if you guys know, let me know in the comments down below. We plan further key improvements to the vision system in the future. I do like that feature though. I kind of know what it means, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. But I do very much like this. It does kind of give now a fair balance to vehicles now, so that means they're not detected as easily, and it actually gives it a realistic vision to it. Now, unfortunately, does this mean that in the tutorial of Gates of Hell, I feel like people are going to know this, because I feel like Gates of Hell will not add, or developers will not add this to the tutorial, and new players are just going to struggle what this means, and people are still going to think, oh, why am I still getting spotted more than usual, or with my engine on, but when I turn my engine off it's easier. New players won't know that. So I'm wondering, to the developers, I'm asking you, will there be in the tutorial this kind of system where you turn on the engine, your vehicles detect more, but when you turn it off, you're detected less. So I'm really hoping they add this maybe into the tutorial of the game, but I'm not sure. And if they do, it would be really useful. Or even add a different tutorial called the advanced tutorial, where it's little things which can help the player, give that a wee bit more advantage to them in the game, if that makes sense. So that was the vision system. I have to say, very happy with it. Next, let's go into the most annoying thing about any game, a war game. We're talking about artillery and tactics. We have redesigned the artillery, voice crack, we have redesigned the artillery, indirect fire weapons, gameplay. We moved away from the RNG model, which represented the inaccuracies of real-life weapons at range, but this also made them unpredictable and more of a gamble. That is very true, because RNG is all about, your RNG is all about just kind of guessing where it goes, where the shot goes, or it's very much unpredicted, so you don't know where the shot is going or what's going to happen to the shot. So it is very much it's very much a guess of if it's like a mortar or something, then you can directly control this. But the problem is, when you aim at a certain target, it might not always land at where you want it to. So this is why they're kind of this is why they're saying this. Although the artillery will feel more reliable, their approximate position will now be hinted on the minimap when they fire. That is excellent to see. So it's kind of like a wee bit like World of Tanks. So in World of Tanks, they've added this system where when artillery fire, it's on the minimap. It's in World of Tanks, they have this giant circle of where the artillery shot was actually aimed at. Of course, artillery in World of Tanks is still kind of mostly RNG because it doesn't always hit. But what they're saying is that it will have an indicator to where the last artillery shot went. Especially, this is going to be very useful in a PvP map, especially for competitive players, or even just for your casual games in a PvP, that the enemy will know where your artillery is roughly. They won't know directly where it is, but there will be a mark on the map to see where they fired from. I think it'll be hinted on the minimap when they fire. Since artillery requires the several zeroing shots to score reliable hits, the opposing team can now apply proper anti-artillery tactics based on what they can see on the minimap. Yeah, so it's kind of like in World of Tanks, where when the artillery fires, you can see where they fired at, or you can't see where they fired. Well, you can see like the shell in World of Tanks where they fired from, but in this case, in Gates of Hell, they are marking it on the map, where they kind of hinted where artillery fired. But what this also means, it gives a good chance for artillery. It gives a good chance for you to know where roughly the artillery is, but that just means that every shot that you take with your artillery, you're just gonna have to do it. You're gonna just have to move it to a different position each time, which is kind of accurate towards real life, because I presume in real life, when World War II did happen, or when the war was happening, the artillery did fire, and then you could see the Allies could possibly work out to see where the artillery was coming from. So the Axis probably had to, or the Allies had to maybe relocate their artillery pieces just to kind of throw them off a wee bit. So definitely I do like this here. So it just means that after every shot you fire, you're probably going to have to move your artillery to a different position. So that means your artillery isn't taken out and you can still keep them in the game. But I would say that this is a very good, very, very good addition to the game, and it's something that we kind of need, considering that especially mortars are a real pain to infantry, and having that is going to be a really, really good spot. So if a mortar keeps firing in the same place, and it's hinted at the same place, then we know it's definitely going to be there. But it's going to be more difficult when, let's say, the mortar fires and then moves to a different location, it's marked at a different location, and it's marked at a different location. So it's going to be difficult, but I really do like this, because you still can get a hint of where the artillery could be. So I really do like that. What's more, we have made artillery more realistic by reducing their ammo capacity, which was always carried externally to the cannon in real life. Now you will have to invest in the ammo vehicle to keep your artillery stocked. Yeah, to be honest, this is very true. Artillery in real life didn't have much ammo on them. When loaded, it was very much just, as they have said, it did have to be, externally, I did have to be, transported externally, which means that it was difficult to reload it, but that's what makes it more fun and a more challenging experience for it. So yeah, so when you are ordering artillery, I don't know how many is going to be, and I don't know the exact capacity what's going to be in the artillery, but definitely I would always, if you're getting artillery truck, maybe always or if you get an artillery piece, always get like a ammo truck for it, you know, just beside it. So just so you're always refilling the artillery. So yeah, very good point there. Alright, let's move on to the most, again, one of the most annoying things about this game, AI, bots, and more. So they're actually now making efforts about the AI bots, which we've always wanted, and I've always wanted to see improve. So let's get dived in. So this is called AI bots and more. So we will introduce multiple upgrades to the AI and bots. The bots have learned how to use cannons in Battlefield and will make use of them in PvE and Conquest. I've never really had a problem with the AI using cannons. I can't say I've ever had this issue. Maybe a lot of you guys have, but I definitely have not had an issue where the bots have had any issue with the cannons. Maybe one or two of the issues could be with the cannons, that they didn't, you know, get off the artillery when it needed moving, or when the artillery, or when the AI try to move artillery, then they just take forever and forever, or they don't get off it. So that's the only complaints I have about the cannons. But other than that, I don't have much to say about the bots on the cannons, because I would say they were pretty good. But of course, I'm not 100%. You guys might say differently. The targeting for bots was further improved, and the tanks under AI control received more realistic traverse movement logic similar to the direct control model. Finally, we have something of good news with it. Now, as you know, with the AI, when you tell an AI tank to go to a certain place, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. So when you tell an AI to go, a tank to go to a certain place, then it starts to take all these tiny little routes, and it starts to reverse and go forward and take a 3.5 turn, and then you basically, it takes like more than half, it takes more time to get to a position when you could just directly control it, and then it'll get to the position easier. But now what they're saying is that now the AI movement will be more like a direct control movement. So when you move it, when you directly control it, it's a lot easier to control. But when the AI does it, it's really a bit rubbish, it's not good. But now what they're saying is that the AI movement, the tank control movement, will be more realistic towards a direct control when you control it, which is awesome. We'll continue to work on the AI progressively, which is awesome. You'll also find other changes related to planes, conquest, infantry, combat, netcode, bug fixing, interface, and game reliability, and so much more. That is awesome. I don't know what they are, but that sounds awesome. But as we all know, a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. That's true. You'll be able to experience this enhanced quality of life when we push the update, which will happen as soon as possible. So the update isn't out yet, and we've got a nice kind of picture here. Meanwhile, a lot of work is going on behind the scenes, and we are very excited the times ahead. The next faction is taking shape very nicely already, and we have got our heads down to maintain this momentum. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for the developers update 107, which was called Black Friday, I believe. Yeah, Black Friday. So yeah, I know it's not Friday, but it's going to be now be called Black Tuesday for my video, just because it sounds better. I'm joking. Anyway, so did you know that, of course, the above updates, several were suggested by our community. Suggestions are welcome. The best place for that is for our Discord server, and our Discord server features the German channels as well. That's it for now. Enjoy the update, and see you on the battlefield. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this developers update 107. What do you think of these updates? Do you really like them? Do you not like them? Do you think anything could be changed, especially with the vision system and also with the artillery and the AI bots? Really something that this is really about the balancing of the life, which they have mentioned at the start of this, about the balancing of quality of life changes for the entire game, which is very true. So what do you think of them? Do you think that this could be done bigger? Do you think it's too much? Do you think it's too little? Do you think they've not done enough for this update? Or do you think that this developers update is just right and there's nothing more to change? So guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and our support, and I will see you in the next video. Also, I must reward in about a couple days, this week hopefully, that I will have some very special news for you for my 1000 subscribers special. So guys, stay tuned to the channel for more, and I will see you very soon. See you later, and goodbye.